Look at all this mail. Coliseum Video gets hundreds of fan letters every week requesting matchups of their favorite superstars. On our monthly releases, we showcase a fan request. But on this special home video from Coliseum, all of the matches have been chosen by our fans. Now, I've sorted through a ton of mail and come up with these fan favorites. First, from Blaze O'Reilly of Redondo Beach, California, a request to see the Ultimate Warrior take on the Earthquake.
The following contest
Hold on tight, Lord Alfred Hayes.
Accompanied to the ring
Experiencing
by the
a
mouth
tremor.
of the South, Jimmy Hart, weighing in at 468 pounds. Here is Earthquake!
Every one of those pounds incredibly dangerous. Let's look at the walking natural disaster. He is massive.
Sean, if we weren't experiencing a tremor just then, why were you and I both shaking?
Well, I said we were.
Oh, we were.
Yes. Shakes an entire arena when he enters. We've seen him bouncing off the ropes. He goes in.
And his opponent,
One of the corners, the entire ring.
275
Because I know that our engineers have to strengthen these rings.
Well, we're about to be rocked by another type of excitement. The arrival of the Ultimate Warrior as he electrifies this crowd in Fort Myers. On their feet. You think he's ready for this battle, Your Lordship?
Well, I would say he's ready, but I don't know whether he's really prepared himself for such a huge man as the Earthquake. He's definitely ready. He's ready for everything and anything. He gets himself into such an incredible psychological state when he comes into the ring. He's so psyched up, but gosh, against Earthquake, I don't know.
Earthquake from behind. As Jimmy Hart distracts the Warrior, Earthquake sees his chance. He'd like to end this in a hurry.
He certainly would.
Oh, the Warrior off the ropes. Hart in with a shoulder block. Earthquake goes nowhere. Ducks two clotheslines and a flying shoulder block drops the Earthquake.
And that is a very graphical display of the energy and power that the Warrior can generate once he's inside the ring and moving.
And after seeing the action we've seen so far, Lord Alfred Hayes, I'm going to make a prediction and say this is going to be a tremendous exclusive matchup that is going to be included on WrestleFest 91.
And what a mistake there by the Warrior, allowing himself to be lured into such a situation with the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. You can never, ever, ever count the big man out there, Earthquake, and think that you've taken care of him, because here it comes back to haunt you.
Lord Alfred Hayes, you have been ringside before. It is very difficult to ignore the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart.
I'm afraid that's something you're going to have to contend with if you step into the ring against any of his charges.
The Warrior limp as the Earthquake hoists him up, dumps him into the corner. He is suffering at this point. As the Coliseum video cameras bring us in close. About as close as I'd ever want.
Yes, really. There we saw Earthquake handling Warrior just like a rag doll, and that's an indication of that tremendous power and strength that this great athlete possesses.
Warrior trying to shake the cobwebs, but Earthquake relentless. Warrior fires back. Series of boots to the midsection, but all it takes is one knee from the Earthquake. Bring down the Warrior again. Oh, 468 pounds, crushing the chest of the Warrior.
Earthquake really going to town here on the Warrior. In the beginning, he took a very, very heavy shoulder tackle from the Warrior that put him down flat on his back, but he's recovered from that, and I'm afraid now the Warrior is really in dire, dire trouble.
Kick to the lower back. Doing some serious damage there. stumbling in the ring. Earthquake coming up from behind. Locks in a bear hug.
Sean, the crowd here trying to get behind the Warrior and urge him to better situations in this match, but it's to no avail. Earthquake still crushing his man.
Trying to do everything he can to break free of the Warrior in a frenzy, but it is not doing much good. Earthquake really has locked those arms around the massive chest of the Ultimate Warrior.
And we got a good close-up there at Mouth of the South with that infernal machine of his really plaguing the Warrior on top of what's happening to him physically inside the ring.
Earthquake continues to squeeze the life out of the Warrior. Dave Hebner with a close eye. See if there's going to be a submission.
Our Coliseum video man taking us right inside the ring there. You couldn't possibly be closer to the action than that.
Look at the grip Earthquake has around the back of the Warrior. He's not about to let go. How much longer can the Warrior hold on?
I don't know, it's really quite remarkable that he stayed in there this long with that crushing power that Earthquake possesses. However, eventually, even Earthquake has to get tired.
Huge elbow to the chest. A lot of power behind that elbow.
I really do think now that Earthquake can take this man, the Warrior, anytime he wishes.
Setting him up now for the Earthquake, your lordship. Off the ropes. One more. Solidly lands.
I don't believe that. By the Warrior.
Look at the look of surprise on the face of Earthquake. He cannot believe it.
Well, I've never seen that done before, have you, Sean?
No. Earthquake sent flying off the chest of the Warrior. Looks as though he was controlled by some other force.
It
It's
certainly did.
like lifting a car off your chest.
And look at the confidence it's given the Warrior now. All that energy back into that frame of his, that huge Herculean frame. And now he's really pasting Earthquake.
Taking two tough clothesline. The third one knocks Earthquake into the ropes, but he is still on his feet. And the Warrior body slams. The walking natural disaster. Here's the splash. Can he keep him down? Yes. Oh, what a victory here for the Ultimate Warrior. Warrior fell victim to the Earthquake. Now Jimmy Hart's feels the wrath of the Ultimate Warrior. And Lord Alfred Hayes, there have not been too many individuals who have yet alone survived an earthquake to come back to score a victory over the walking natural disaster, the Earthquake. We just saw here tonight. Kevin Thomas from Chicago, Illinois, requested this matchup between the Macho Man Randy Savage and the Berserker. That the Berserker is unpredictable. In contrast, Macho Man Randy Savage was predicted to win every time he steps into the ring. But it's going to be a close call today, I believe.
It certainly will be.
Berserker certainly has the size advantage. This encounter, Mr. Fuji already getting involved. Flips the cane in. I was going to say, Lord Alfred Hayes, Macho Man has taken on much larger opponents before and stepped out of the ring victorious. He is already in trouble against this massive Berserker.
Yes, he may come unstuck here, and Fuji has told his man, make sure you get a 1, 2, 3 inside the ring, although he seems to be dispatching him outside the ring with apparent ease. Berserker very, very difficult to deal with in the opening minutes of any match. Savage has got to weather this particular storm to stay with him.
Macho Man really takes some hard shots across the chest.
Some superb stuff here by
Can't do
Berserker.
much for your respiratory system, Lord Alfred Hayes.
Definitely not.
Right up now. Macho Man in position for a pile driver. And it lands with pinpoint accuracy. Berserker moves in for the cover. The Macho Man very wisely gets his feet up on the ropes and gets a break.
Yes, I'm surprised Fuji didn't interfere at that point, push his feet off or something, but I think he realized that Macho Man would have lifted those shoulders. Oh, gosh! Oh, wow.
We were saved watching that incredible collision the Macho Man just had with the steel steps. And Berserker has now moved the mat. That is cement there, folks. Macho Man dropped from a pretty good height, right onto his back.
Just unceremoniously placed down upon that concrete on the outside, and Berserker now, he knows that he was treading a very fine line there with a disqualification. The referee gave him the better of the doubt. He's back inside the ring, and I can't believe it, but the referee is actually counting Savage on the outside.
Lord Alfred Hayes, what a match to have in your collection. If the Berserker were to pull off a big upset here against the Macho Man Randy Savage, one of the most skilled superstars in the WWF, this matchup to be included on Battle of the Superstars 92. An exclusive encounter. The Macho Man Randy Savage really in trouble at this point, now fighting back.
Well, unusual for Savage, he was trying to take the fight to the Berserker, and I think that's a mistake in tactics. Savage is a great, great wrestler, one of the greatest we've ever seen. I think he should have stuck to wrestling tactics here.
Referee goes down. Swept away by the legs of the Macho Man as the Berserker set Randy Savage up for a body slam, and he really seems to be out of it.
Oh!
Berserker attempts with a splash. Macho Man uses his quickness, but he didn't get away from that knee.
No, the timing for that first headbutt was so much adrift, it wasn't funny. However, the next move was very, and the salt is going to come into play here. And the referee's down. The referee has his back turned.
Randy Savage ducks out of the way. It's the Berserker who gets the salt to the eyes. The Macho Man with the cane now. Referee just getting back to his feet. Right on the head of the Berserker. Right between the eyes, the cane drops the Wild One.
And everything went wrong there for Berserker and Fuji. They pulled every stop they had out of the bag here, but it didn't work for them. And here, Savage is in for the pin.
Referee comes to his senses just in time. Count three. And what a victory for the Macho Man Randy Savage, the Wild Berserker, a very formidable opponent. But Randy Savage comes out on top. Oh yeah. Lord Alfred Hayes, I understand it's a bouncy tune, but please sit down, come on.
I like this song.
Oh, I thought you were waving to someone down there.
No, I like the words.
It is catchy, but it's too bad that it happens to be the Mounties theme song.
I like that. I'm handsome, I'm brave, I'm strong.
I have a feeling he wrote those words.
I think he did, yes. Beautiful lyrics.
Look, he's not even lip syncing. Oh boy,
That was good.
rather obvious. Hello everyone, I'm Sean Mooney. Alongside me here in the broadcast booth, Lord Alfred Hayes. And we are getting set for an incredible collision. It's time for six-man tag team competition. We just witnessed the entrance of the Mountie. And out come his two teammates.
486 pounds, the Beverly Brothers.
And with the assistance of Howard Finkel, Beverly Brothers, Bo and Blake.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is a poem from the Genius,
Oh boy, I like these.
The Undertaker's teaming up with 3 obnoxious sissies.
Thought you were going to say
some
that.
prefer to call the LOD. The brothers Beverly and I have found them quite repulsive, and the Genius knows the Mountie will agree.
He wrote that on the way into the ring. Didn't take much thought there.
Well, he wasn't very good this time, but usually has
And now,
brilliant
introducing
lines
the
at
opposing
first.
team,
I must say, though, Jimmy Hart has put together quite a trio here.
He has indeed.
For this collision, the Mountie and the Beverly Brothers
Undertaker.
all have acquired pretty impressive records in tag team competition as well as singles action. And they are going to have a very tough time today. One of the coldest individuals in the WWF, The Undertaker. Man who has no conscience.
Sean, it's going to be really interesting to see how this fellow, who has been in the past almost exclusively a one-on-one type wrestler, will team with Legion of Doom, who have been almost exclusively tag team wrestlers.
Well, it is going to be very interesting. Your Lordship, let me ask you a question. Why do you think The Undertaker is so popular?
That's
He has quite a following here.
That is one of the enigmas of the World Wrestling Federation. It is quite strange how he has taken everybody's hearts,
Well, I have a theory.
if not their bodies.
I have a theory, Your Lordship.
Oh, you do?
I have to think that everyone is fascinated in some way with death, and they are drawn to someone like The Undertaker. That's pretty deep, don't you think?
I think that's very deep. 6 feet deep.
Well, we'll see. The Legion of Doom, Hawk and Animal. Oh, one of the most devastating forces ever to step into the ring. This is one duo that has it all. Man, Hawk and Animal.
They have indeed tremendous power, great agility, but paramount to all that, they have finesse. They have grace and style in the ring for such huge men.
Didn't take him long to clear the squared circle. The Mountie, along with Bowen Blake, showing great caution. Paul Ellering, very vociferous today.
Oh, gosh. Can you imagine the mouth of the South saying no pictures?
Yeah.
I don't believe that. I think that's a fib, don't you?
Well, notice he said that right into the camera.
Yes. What a clash this is going to be.
Let's talk a little bit about strategy. Lord Alfred Hayes, how does one approach this encounter? I'm sure Paul Ellering has a plan. So does the Mouth of the South.
I'm sure they both have tremendous plans. I would imagine that the Mouth of the South, his plan is chicanery all the way through. But then again, Legion of Doom and Undertaker are no strangers to that particular mode of combat.
I think a quick message was just sent to the trio of the Beverly Brothers and the Mountie. We're not going to outpower the team of LOD and the Undertaker. Animal making that very clear as he sends one of the Beverly Brothers sailing across the ring. Blake in a little trouble at the start of this.
Well, he seems to have solved that particular problem.
Body
Especially
slam, and well done. Blake very proud of himself.
Well, it was nicely executed.
Into the ropes. Leapfrog. And this time, Animal returns the favor. Bull makes a mistake of trying to get involved and receives a headbutt from Hawk. And now all three out of the ring.
Well, Mountie was about to go into the ring there. He suddenly found himself alone, and he decided that discretion was the better part of valor, and he quickly hopped out.
Tense look on the face of Paul Ellering as he looks on. He has got to have liked what he's seen so far.
I would imagine so, definitely. He really has done a splendid job with Legion of Doom. He's made them into the most worthy title contenders there is in the World Wrestling Federation. He somehow managed to get Undertaker to join them.
So you would agree that LOD was lacking management and that Paul Ellering has turned things around.
He could be the catalyst for their final success. In other words, taking that tag team title.
Well, after they lost the tag team belts, they did seem to be a little lost. Oh, all it took there was, what'd you call that? It wasn't exactly a scream. Kind of a hiss.
Yes. And a little headbutt, I think, also into the bargain. And it seems to have paid off for Legion of Doom. They put their enemies to rout here.
I think that Bo is going to think twice before primping in the ring again.
Yes.
Hawk, the legal man in, and Bo very slow to get back in there.
A little reluctant, but I don't blame him. They've already felt the tremendous power of Legion of Doom, but look at them striking back.
Yeah, Bo comes back in and really goes after Hawk. Some really good shots to the head and using the feet as well. But it's not long before a Hawk shuts him down. Sharp elbow takes Bo off his feet. But Bo keeps it up.
Good tactics by the Beverly brothers have put Legion of Doom into trouble again. But not for long.
Bo makes a mistake of putting the head down. Hawk quick to capitalize on it. Beverly brothers shaken up. Oh. Hawk showing that incredible upper body strength. Presses. Bo.
Most impressive power there by Legion of Doom.
That was a long way down,
yes.
Your Lordship.
No matter what the Beverly brothers have tried, however they've mustered their offense, somehow or other, the question has always been answered by Legion of Doom, and yet we still haven't seen Undertaker. Wow, gosh. Woo!
What a blade on that chop.
Yes.
They took their heads off. Blake made the mistake of getting a little too close. Is the genius watching this encounter?
I don't think
How can he
is.
call them sissies? But then what does that make the Beverly brothers? They have totally dominated this encounter. Except for a brief flurry there from Bo. That's about all the offense we have seen.
It's about time, I think, they put Mountie in, see what he can do, because obviously the Beverly brothers...
He's not too anxious to go in, though.
Oh,
In steps
wow.
the Undertaker. We see why. Oh, a little dissension.
A lot of dissension, I would say. Mountie does not want to go in there. And he's been tagged in, and he must go in.
Oh, I love it. And the Mountie. Timeout.
I don't think the referee is going to take kindly to that. In fact, he's going to count him very quickly if he doesn't come out of the corner.
The Undertaker expressionless, but I do believe we all know what he has in mind. Undertaker stalking a law enforcement officer from Canada. And how does the saying go, Your Lordship? You can run, but you cannot hide in the ring.
Certainly not from that fellow. He dominates the ring. He gets into the center. He doesn't really move from there.
Off the ropes. Mountie holds on. Oh. Makes a mistake. Again, turning his back on the Undertaker. This time he really pays for it.
I really think he thought the Undertaker was going to remain immobile in the center of the ring. He didn't, though.
Flying clothesline. And the Mountie is down.
Tremendous agility.
I think he should have trusted his first instinct and stayed out of the ring. Trying to make the tag. The Undertaker will not allow it. Drags the Mountie back to the center of the ring. Here's the tag. The Mountie scrambles over to his corner. And I don't believe there was a tag made. What is going on in that corner?
I don't know. We'll have to get the referees ruling on this. If the tag has been made, then One of the Beverly brothers will have to come into the ring.
I'm gonna get my wrestling tights on and beat him with an inch of his life.
Oh, please. Did you hear that?
I did indeed.
Jimmy Hart said he's going to get his tights on
I think
and
that's
take on Paul Ellering.
I think that's a very hollow threat, don't you? I wonder what he looks like in wrestling tights.
Hawk ducking that shoulder.
You give me one. Yeah, come on. Come on.
Jerry regrets that challenge. Incredible shoulder blocks from Hawk and a headbutt. Just devastating. Don Blake not about to hang around, but stays on the apron. Not a smart decision. He's forced to drop him. Hawk just obeying the rules there. Referee said to break the hold, and he did.
Do you get the impression that Legion of Doom and the Undertaker are really beginning to enjoy this?
First mistake we have seen. Hawk charging in as Blake slips out of the way, and he slammed into that steel ring post and went down hard on the floor. Bo with a chair. Comes up from the side and really nailed Hawk. I'm sure he sustained a great deal of damage just falling on the floor.
Well,
Lord
just
Alfred
at the
Hayes.
point where I said they were beginning to enjoy this match, it seems that the pendulum has swung and they've entered into the Valley of Pain there. And pain being executed by the Beverly brothers can really be devastating. Now I look for Mountie to come back into the ring.
Clear to see just who this crowd is behind, chanting LOD. It has to be a bit unnerving to the Beverly brothers in the Mountie.
Well, they're going to try and keep Hawk in their corner. They're going to try and cut this ring off. And there, as I predicted, is Mountie in. He's a big front runner. He likes to get on top. And he had an advantage there.
I think it's clear, Lord Alfred Hayes, that that chair certainly did some damage. Hawk struggling at this point, and the Mountie effectively cutting him off from his corner, shutting down the ring. An animal, enraged.
A little diversion there for the
Undertaker.
referee, and unfortunately the temper of Animal doesn't pay dividends. It puts Hawk in further trouble. He needs to make that tag out desperately now if he can achieve that.
Hawk really taking a beating. Bo on the second rope. Flips across, snaps the head of Hawk as he sustains more punishment.
That was really a nice move there by Bo Blake. By Bo, I should say, Blake's brother.
And Hawk, certainly one of the toughest individuals in the World Wrestling Federation, but you really have to wonder at this point, how much can he take?
Absolutely, we've got a close-up there of Undertaker looking very concerned indeed. Although he really never registers too much emotion, he has on this occasion though. And look at Hawk, he's really bent over double. He's obviously suffering a lot.
And a long way from home, slammed into the turnbuckle repeatedly. Blake now in, drops the leg across the throat.
Our Coliseum cameras there giving us a really nice close-up in that corner a couple of shots ago. Maybe we'll get another good angle from our Coliseum cameraman. They take great pictures.
Clear example there, your lordship, of just how tough Hawk is. He didn't stay on his back for more than half a second as that cover was attempted by Blake.
He's a toughie, all right. He does have great stamina, but is he going to be able to keep this up? He's in there virtually unarmed against three men now.
Comes out of the corner. Those massive shoulders slam into Bo, and he took quite a shot there.
Well,
Shaken up, wants out.
Bo didn't know what was in store for him there. And that was really a good tag out by Bo, because his head had been scrambled just slightly.
Your lordship, I've noticed they have not used the Mountie much in this encounter. You think that the Beverly brothers, having worked together so often, want to stay together as a team.
I think you've
not risk using the Mountie because they're not familiar with his tactics.
I think you've labeled that correctly there, Sean.
There's a tag. And Animal has been watching on the apron and has been seething. Now it's time for revenge. And the Mountie had no choice, got involved there.
And that really was a superb drop kick by the Animal. But look at this, he's been belabored from behind there. Caught
And a little
unaware.
double team action. The Beverly Brothers in. But Animal takes on both men, slams him to the canvas. Here's a cover. Only two. It looked very close. And now The Undertaker and Hawk could not stand to watch any longer. They get involved, and we've got an entire brawl going on, both in and out of the ring. Clothesline off the top rope. Animal holds Bo down, and they will get the decision. Let's get the official word.
Here are your winners, the team of the Legion of Doom and the Undertaker.
Lord Alfred Hayes, it certainly was not pretty. But what a battle. We will certainly remember this encounter as the Legion of Doom, Hawk and Animal, and The Undertaker come out victorious in the six-man tag team match. Our next request came in from Charlotte, North Carolina. Alex Coleman wanted to see Bret the Hitman Hart versus Skinner.
This contest is for the Intercontinental Championship, scheduled for one fall. In the ring is the challenger from the Everglades, weighing 235 pounds.
What an ovation
Skinner!
for Bret the Hitman as he makes his way down.
From Calgary, Alberta, Canada, weighing 234 pounds, the Intercontinental Champion, Bret Hitman Hart.
Holy mackerel, it's deafening in here, Brain.
Well, there's no doubt about it. Bret the Hitman Hart is a very, very popular Intercontinental Champion, but he could very well be on the wall in the home of Skinner, and I mean dressed and mounted.
Skinner, for all intents and purposes, undefeated here to date in the World Wrestling Federation. What an opportunity, what a break for him to get a crack at the coveted Intercontinental belt.
Well, he earned it, or he wouldn't be in there.
Uh-oh, look at this. Some young lady extremely ecstatically happy, recipient of the Hitman shades. How about it?
Oh, my goodness. Bring her some oxygen. That bimbo's gonna faint.
A man who has excellence of execution. He'll need it here with Skinner. This roughneck from the Everglades, he'll pull out all the stops, Brain.
You know, the excellence of execution just might get executed. He might get skinned.
Skinner chewing away at that, whatever it is, chaw he's got, I guess.
Well, the man just likes to enjoy himself.
It's a dirty, filthy habit.
Recreational tobacco, or whatever.
Please,
Or who knows what it is. It could be the bottom paw of an alligator.
Nice arm drag by Bret to gain control. Turns it in now to an arm bar. Hitman would do well to take this guy off his feet, get him down on the canvas.
You know, Skinner will surprise you. He'll fight you, but he can wrestle.
Yeah, he'll spin right in your face, too. Oh, look at this, atomic drop, finds the mark. And another one, this time inverted. Hitman on a roll.
I'll tell you something. Bret the Hitman Hart is a fantastic athlete. You can't take that away from him. But since he won the Intercontinental Championship, or should I say, lucked out.
What do you mean?
He's a crisper, sharper, more intelligent wrestler than he was before.
Lucked out.
But he still can be beaten.
The words lucked out and Hitman do not go together, Brain.
Oh, I believe they do. I'm the broadcast journalist.
That's what I'm afraid of. Skinner, wise move there, sort of took a little hike for himself and regrouped. But Bret goes right back to work on that left arm and shoulder.
You think the state of Texas is ready for Hulk Hogan and The Undertaker?
You got it.
You think they're ready for Savage and Jake the Snake? I heard they're going to tear down the Alamo and open up a fast food restaurant. All they're talking about is the World Wrestling Federation.
Still in control, Hitman.
He has been ahead on points so far.
Wise game plan here. Eyes and ears of the world focused on San Antonio, Texas. All kinds of ramifications involved here.
Boy, these Texans have big mouths. They haven't shut up since I walked into the building.
Skinner reaching out, trying to get some relief here, perhaps to reach that rope, and he's got it. Referee's going to have to break it here. Danny Davis, third man in the ring.
Good move, Skinner. Very good move. You know, you could solve the oil trouble in this world.
See that claw hanging there?
Yeah.
What was that?
I believe that's the left parthesis of an alligator. Yes.
Will you be serious?
Oh, you asked me. Okay, it's the right one. You happy?
Looks like something the cat dragged in.
And was too afraid to take back out.
Side headlock now by Skinner. Rotates it around, turns it into a nice armbar, but a nice reversal by the Hitman. Skinner trying to worm his way out of this, but unsuccessfully.
He can wrestle, Skinner. No
There's
doubt
a nice
about that.
reversal.
He can wrestle.
Hitman just unloaded. Wow.
No.
Right in the sternum. That'll take some of the starch. Skinner certainly doesn't have a whole lot of money tied up in ring attire, does he?
Well, I understand where he lives. Whoa! You know, he could break the shoulder just like that, and it could be over for the Hitman.
Shoulder first into the steel post.
You know, I understand he doesn't have a home. He lives out in the brush, lives out in the Everglades with the lizards and the alligators, and he just has a kind of like a sleeping bag he lives in. This is one tough guy.
You mean he's too cheap to find a place?
No, that's what he likes.
Hitman in trouble here. Perhaps dislocated or maybe even fractured that clavicle.
He's been favoring that shoulder for quite a while now.
Skinner relentless. Dives back in to break the count as referee Danny Davis was counting both men out.
See? But he's got to get Bret the Hitman back in there because he can't win that title if Hitman's counted out.
Title can only change hands on a pinfall or submission.
I know that.
Oh, double axe handles finding the mark. Irish whip coming up, look out. Abdominal stretch.
Wow. That's a great wrestling move for Skinner.
Yeah, but he's not going to get a submission.
Why not?
Number one, he doesn't have the hole locked in properly. Doesn't have the leverage that he needs. That left leg needs to be hooked and grapevine under there. The only way he's going to get the advantage is right now by holding onto that rope.
Well, I don't believe he's holding on the rope for an advantage. He's just correcting his balance.
Yeah. No way the Hitman's going to give up with this. Forget about it. And Skinner did just that.
Well, I think he knew it.
Uh-oh. Scoops him up. Shoulder breaker. Right on that shoulder that was rammed into the steel post.
1, 2. 1 second away from becoming the Intercontinental Champion.
Close, but no cigar. Or no chewing tobacco, one or the other.
Hey, you may chew cigars. How do you know?
Maybe they do. Hitman better start mounting some kind of offense here. Or this roughneck will walk out of here with the gold.
Would you say Skinner was playing possum?
I just said that.
Oh, that's why I heard it then. There's so much noise in here, I can't hear everything.
Look at this. Goes over there and grabs that claw right in the throat of the Hitman.
We got a new champion, I bet. I bet you cover him, Skinner. Get on him, hook the legs. Come on, hook the tights. Hook something.
Andy Davis questioning him. Of course, he's denying it.
Skinner, get on him. Get on him now.
You want to manage this guy or what?
No, but I like to help out a guy that needs a little help.
Yeah, he needs a lot of help.
I'm a kind guy, Monsoon.
The kind of guy everybody tries to avoid. Blatant shoulder over the second rope on the inside by Skinner.
He should go to work on that shoulder.
Brett in a whole heap of trouble here.
Kick him with those big gator boots. Let the boots to him work on that shoulder. You know, being Intercontinental Champion takes a lot out of you. You're defending that title against the top superstars in the WWF. And I'll tell you, if you're not in shape, if one thing happens to you, you can lose it all. He's got to stay on him.
Irish whip, oh, hard. Face first into the top turnbuckle.
He had to jam that shoulder also. Come on, get on him. Don't go for the leg. Skinner just wants to hurt you, that's all.
But he's working on the wrong part of the body, Brain.
I know that.
He's done damage to that left shoulder.
I know that.
And he started to go to work on the leg. The guy's not too smart, I guess.
I know that.
Not too swift between the ears.
You know, he just may be taking them apart like you do a lizard or a gator, piece by piece. First goes the wing, then the hoof, then the tail.
What are you talking about?
You talking to me?
Yes.
I'm giving you a biology lesson. Didn't you ever dissect a frog in Biology 1?
Brown getting a little restless here, sensing perhaps the Intercontinental Championship could change hands here in Texas.
Hitman is hurt. He is definitely hurt.
Title definitely in jeopardy here in San Antonio.
Here we go. Here we go.
There's his patented neck breaker, yes.
That's what he uses on the Gators. Caref, one.
Look at this nonchalant cover. You're not going to become champion like that.
He was a half second away. You got him. You got him, Skinner. Take him.
A nonchalant attitude about covering the Hitman. It could have costed the title. Now Skinner, second turnbuckle on the inside.
Hitman's in trouble. He is definitely in trouble.
Boy, he's wasting an awful lot of time up there. Too much time.
Come on, get on him. He was playing possum. He was playing possum. Oh, that dirty, no good job.
Try to control yourself. Hitman on the rampage. Big roundhouse right finds the mark. Sends him in for the ride downstairs in the breadbasket. Here comes neck breaker of his own. Well executed. Over for the cover. No, he couldn't get it.
He's got some fight left in him. Now the thing to do is get a hold of that can, take a big drink, and spin it right in the Hitman's face.
Suplex and a beauty.
Get it right between the eyes.
2 count once again doesn't hold down Skinner.
Get to that can of dip.
But boy, is it taking its toll. Backbreaker coming up. Oh, right on the money.
You want to be champion, you want to be hip, get to that dip.
Hitman, what an elbow, finds the mark. 1, 2, no.
This is one tough customer, pal. Here we go. He's got him.
From behind, sunset roll up now. Nice leverage move by the Hitman, and he's right on up to Skinner.
This is where Skinner likes it. He likes it on the floor. He likes to get dirty. He likes to get down.
Ramming the face of the Hitman right into the apron.
Get him in there, Skinner. You gotta beat him.
Both of these guys have absorbed an awful lot of punishment so far in this one.
And this is the first match. This is the first match.
Oh, nice move by Brett. And a nice counter move by Skinner.
This is like something you'd see late at night, about 3 in the morning on Alligator Alley or Central Park. He wants it bad, Skinner.
Skinner moving up to this high-risk area here. At this point in time, at this point in the match, very dangerous place to be. He got caught.
We don't know where he's going.
Oh, looks like the Hitman is setting him up for the sharpshooter. He's got it twisted. He's got it over.
He's got him. He's got him. Skinner's undefeated.
Forget about it.
Now he's not. The winner of this bout. What a match. What a match. Still Intercontinental Champion, Bret Hitman.
This next fan favorite matchup between the Natural Disasters and the Nasty Boys was sent in by Samantha Moss of Nanuet, New York.
He's so upset.
He can't even talk. He must really be upset.
I don't believe that for one moment. This trio talks more than anybody I know in the World Wrestling Federation. They are constantly chattering and nattering.
Shut your stinking face.
There you are. You see, there's a most complimentary thing coming from Knobs there.
There's some brave little kids up there in the front row. I don't think I'd get that close.
No, I don't think I would either. Very, very passive action there by Earthquake and Typhoon. They're not going to let this ruffle their feathers at all.
Lord Alfred Hayes, considering not only the massive
Nasty
size.
size of Natural Disasters, baby.
Nasty size, the Natural Disasters. This I've got to see. I was going to say, Your Lordship, considering not only the size of the Natural Disasters, they had a combined weight of over 850 pounds. As you can see, Sags finding out how difficult it is to raise up over 350
Yes.
at 850 pounds.
He discovered that in a hurry there. That was a very nice body slam, incidentally, by Typhoon. He twisted him in mid-air and brought him back down on his side. No chance to break his foot. Oh, my word.
Well, I don't think that was quite a full Typhoon, Lord Alfred Hayes, but it was enough to drop Sags. He's had enough.
It was a kind
The
of...
point I was trying to get across, Lord Alfred Hayes,
Yes.
Shut your stinking face.
is considering not only the size of the Natural Disasters, but just how angry
What's the matter with
they
you?
are. Jimmy Hart, what are the Nasty Boys going to have to do today to come up with a victory?
Typhoon, baby.
Well, stick to the plan that has been
Purchase
successful.
guns, maybe?
No. Believe me, Jimmy Hart never enters into any match at all without a game plan. And I wouldn't mind betting his game plan here could be a successful one. However unbeatable they may look, this combination of the Natural Disasters, they must have a
Earthquake
weakness
really
somewhere.
showing his incredible power. Knobs, I think he lost his mind for a second there, trying to match power for power.
Indeed. Look at Knobs. He's 6 feet 3 inches, weighs 300 pounds or more, and yet he looks like a baby almost in comparison to Equake.
Knobs body slam. He turned over, perhaps not to look at what was coming next, I think.
Yes. Close your eyes, don't see it happening. See, there's a nice move.
He had a nice move. He hit Earthquake in the back with that megaphone.
Well, that's
You
tag team
saw him
tactics.
slip into the arena floor when the referee turned around.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's amazing what you can not see, Lord
didn't see
Alfred Hayes, when you want to.
What I did see, though, was Earthquake go down.
Why would you have any allegiance whatsoever to Knobs and Sags?
I don't.
Why
I really
what
don't.
is your favoritism here?
Well, I admired them when they were the tag team champions. They really did hold up against all and sundry. They never ducked a challenge. And that's probably why they're not the champions today. If they'd have been a little more, say, choosing in their way that they fought their opposition, they may still be the champions today.
Well, I would agree with that point, but considering what Alfred Hayes, just how formal you are and how much you believe in manners and how you... of anybody who would be appalled at the behavior of the Nasty Boys, I think it would be you. Well, here you're unforgiving.
I'm appalled at their graffiti, but they do that outside the ring.
What about their pit stop move?
Oh, that's disgusting. That's terrible. That is just an awful move. I hope they don't do that. That revolts me.
The Nasty Boys really taking control here, which is very surprising. It's not often you see Earthquake suffer so much damage. But it is taking two men to control him. He really is a massive individual.
Sean, you're so right. When you said that just now, I was trying to think the last time I saw Earthquake take such a beating during the course of a match, and I can't remember ever seeing this happen to him before. So this game plan of Jimmy Hart seems to be working. They've had him down on the canvas more times than anybody else, any other team I've ever seen.
They're trying to keep Earthquake away from his corner. Typhoon, the fresh man, and as you can see, he's very anxious to get back in there. Sags tries with an elbow. It's going to take more than that to drop the huge superstar. There's two. Sags does not allow the tag.
Well, they've really got this big man teetering and tottering around the ring. If they can get his shoulders down now, this may be all over. Like I said to you before, Sean, there is a game plan always, every time they come into the ring with Jimmy Hart. And apparently his game plan is working very well indeed.
That strategy includes keeping Earthquake away from his corner. Break the big man down, and you can see the Nasty Boys have so far been very effective in doing that.
They have. They're trying to move a mountain there, though. Oh, dear.
Big mistake.
A cardinal error there committed by Knobs.
Earthquake still does not have the strength to get back to his corner. It allows Sags to come in as Knobs checks out. See if they can keep it up. Comes over with a sunset flip. Does not stand a chance at dropping Earthquake. I'm sure Sags is gasping for breath at this point. It's almost when he got in that position, he went, uh-oh.
Yes, and look, he can't move. He's been laid low, and that's still the situation that prevails.
850-pound crush. Jimmy Hart gets too close to the apron. I'm sure Typhoon has waited for this. Oh, look at this. Jimmy Hart sent flying into the ring.
Here are your winners.
Let's get the official word.
Natural disasters.
But Alfred Hayes had really got out of control in this encounter in the end. The Natural Disasters, I'm sure, getting some satisfaction.
Indeed, the Nasty Boys worked and labored very hard for victory there, but it was to no avail, and that really was a super victory by the Natural Disasters.
I just got a new batch of fan favorite mail delivered to Coliseum Video. So maybe your request will be seen soon on a Coliseum Video release. I hope you've enjoyed WWF Wrestling's fan favorites.
Mail call.
Oh, looks like I've got a lot of work to do. For the World Wrestling Federation and Coliseum Video, I'm Sean Mooney. Keep on writing.